Hello everyone, my name is Minh Thư and I'm from Big Four. I'm a person who will introduce you the group members, table of contents, and the part one of this video, also the part one of the portfolio. Our group member have 4 members and it includes Bảo Thành, Hành Trí, Xuân Kỳ, and me, Minh Thư. And of the table of contents, we have 5 part, background information, and annual return, total risk, systematic risk, and the last but not least, optional question. First, according to the slide, I will tell you about the basic information of the 5 companies that we have chosen to analyze in the portfolio article. This include BNG, Vinamilk, Vietcombank, Hapag Group, and SSI. First of all, about BNG, you can see at the slide, BNG is a big company of the souvenir fashion, accessory, and jewelry nationwide. P&G position can be said to be the leading in retail companies in gold, silver, gems, and jewelry. And this first under the people committed for food district. After a period of time, the sales increased and developed is now not only operating in Phú Nhuận. The companies currently have a retail store all around Vietnam. So this is also the reason that our group chose Phú Nhuận Jewelry as the first company in our portfolio. The financial performance in the last 3 years of Phú Nhuận Jewelry has also put on the slide. It includes total assets, on equity, revenue, and the profit. And the second company is Vietnam Dairy Product Stock Company. The companies were entered in the 1976 at the state-owned called Coffee Dairy Company. We all know Vinamilk has been a company with a large domestic market, achieving a breakthrough in the early years when the dairy market is not really necessary in Vietnam. Now, Vinamilk always hold the top VN13 and is said to be a blue chip stock for those who don't like the risk. Also, the name of stock ticker and the financial performance have put on both slide and also in the portfolio that we can give in the report. And the third company is Vietcombank. Vietcombank has also no different in the percentage risk because also the blue chip, but it's a different industry. Vietcombank had a big name in the banking industry. Afterwards, in the 1963, the stock peaked in the 95,800 in the beginning of the 2022 and has gradually become a stable level. The company has always maintained its performance when in the past 3 years no loss will be declared in the main business activities. And we also put the price if you want to buy one stock of the company in today is 83,000. HPG, called from Hapag Group Stock Company, owns large market share in the metal industry in Vietnam. Is famous for a connection between employees and the company. Although it has not been listed for as long as the two stock, the combined Vinamilk is still in the top 10 potential stock that investors have looking for. It can be seen that Hapag Group trends in this year have been partly dyed green in the XOSE, although not entirely due to the volatile market. However, it's still enough to show that HPG is a suitable stock for venture capitalists when it has not really hit its peak yet. And last, SSI Security Corporation is a special company because it don't reduce any physical products for the customer, but the value of SSI share is not lower than any other company in our portfolio. Under HOSE, SSI is almost the top of the stock that's being traded most actively when it's honest, which has almost brought a lot of profit to the observant investors in the 2020s. And it's all. I hope that is informative things can give to you because my teammate will tell you more about details in the number of average annual return.
Thank you too for introducing me as well as your introduction on our chosen stock company background. So, hello everyone. I will continue our presentations by present our first analysis in the categories of annual average returns for our chosen stock. So first, let's recon a little bit about the concept of annual average return. So in simple term, is the loss the money makes or lost by mutual funds in the context which is our stock over a given period from 2017 and 2000 to the first 2 months of 2022. So first, this is our illustration for the annual average return compared to VN Index and the whole group portfolio and CGP&J. So we can clearly see that P&J have the same movements as the VN Index throughout the period. And to compare with the group portfolio, we have a highlighted stage which is in the 2020. P&J's and the group portfolio had conversely different in details, like P&J seem to have the better output in terms of the value of any other return compared to the VN Index at the first day of the period. P&J's got about 80%, while VN Index just like start from the half a bit, 40%. In particular, in 2020, the chart conversely emphasized the stated P&J and the portfolio. Why P&J have a little downturn? The portfolio start up significantly among three figures in the same year, and we can see the gap in value nearly reach 30%, which demonstrate for extreme distance of P&J and our stock in terms of annual average return. So for a second stock, which is Vinamilk, Vinamilk also have like the same movements at the portfolio. However, uh, Vinamilk have some convert at the state in 2020. So Vinamilk position itself as the lower figure in the 2018 reality. However, like Vinamilk as that time that seem to have a crisis with their annual average return to lower than minus 20% by far, which the VN Index and the portfolio. However, Vinamilk somehow get it back to the competition with its growing tendency for 20% indifferent. However, Vinamilk remains the same stated at P&Js when stay under the whole group portfolio value in 2020. From 2020 to the end of the period, Vinamilk started to lower itself significantly due to various external factors on its financial performance. So, with third stock, Vietcombank, VCB, we can see that it have the same movements like upper group portfolio. It's nearly have the same like D2 illustration, like nearly to cover each other up. For the VN Index, it's like converge significantly as the state 2020. So Vietcombank's like represent a similarity between its shape and the portfolio in terms of tendency of movement. We can see that Vietcombank and VN Index both drastically dropped at the first phase of the period. In the next 2 years, which is 2018 and 19, both stock increased, while the Vinamilk VN Index made its way dropped down to the current times. Vietcombank had the impressive performance throughout the periods in this category, since there's no position itself to below 0% in terms of values of annual average return. So this is also stake for the stock stability in this company financial performance and encourage for investors to make the profitable investment under the stock ticker VCB. So our four stock which is the HEC-BG compared with the VN Index is have nearly the same movement, but with the group portfolio which have the highest gap in terms of annual average return in 2020. So HEC-BG seem to fit with the overall market while sharing almost the same amount as VN Index at the last point of the period. We can see that it's cover each other in the chart. This situation seemingly justified for the status of the stock as firmly affected by overall economy. Throughout the period, activity dropped down from almost 70% to surprisingly minus 24%, we conduct a huge depreciation, weakening the stock value and investment ability. And our final stock, which is SSY, this is one of the stock that make a very huge impact on the whole group portfolio. So we can see that the dramatic change in the movement and completely different with the two subsets in here. So SSC is a crucial explanation for the upper tendency of the group portfolio in 2020. SSC draw up the highest development since Thomas achieving nearly 120% in annual average return, which is a very spectacular number and can be considered a dream number for investor. The growing progress maintained interest only in 1 year and then black out to the worst situation when having the drop down gap nearly minus 170%. Unlike the other stock, SSG is a stock which is a much different model compared to other. Interestingly, SSG performed differently with an index from 2018 to 2020, and SSG go up while the VNR index go down. This proves that SSY have some investment in its finance strategy in this period. So we have five stock that have the above chains and under chains that result in the difference in the portfolio in 2020. So next, my friend Key, he will guide us to the next analysis on the total risk.
Oh, hi everyone. In this part I will illustrate about the tutorial variation and derivations. Variance and derivation are two important coefficients that investor can analyze and make investment decision. It can be said that analysis portfolio manager or financial advisor, same as the basics measure of risk, and the standard deviation of blue chip stock group often quite low compared to volatile stock. Although a large standard deviation is associated with a high level of risk, and strictly investors often play best the expectation of quality returns. And in general, the variance of the opposed statistic range from 0.4% to 22%, and the standard deviation indicator range from 6.36% to 14.89%. It is easy to see that VCB and VNM are two costs with low variance. Uh, uh, it is 79% and 49% respectively, and standard deviation of 88% and 7.02% respectively. Even this intake of VNM is lower than that of our portfolio. This shows the stability of two blue chip stock. This also explains correlations between low risk and return expectation went from 2017 to 2022. The AAR as of these two companies are not really higher than compared to other AARs. Besides the stock with the highest standard deviation is SSI, which is 2.34 times higher than VN index. Second is HPG with 12% as is case the PCB and VNMD to high standard deviation. Companies has definitely that delivery has returned to retail investor in recent year, especially in 2020 despite COVID. pandemic, SSI and SPG still broke is 111 top 24% and 91 top 85% of ARs respectively. And for the remaining blue chip company PNG, the two indicate a variance standard deviation are on the average, respectively Tiger Dance Group portfolio, but it's not promised as SSI and HBJ are close to the markets like VCB and VNM. Perhaps that's why their AARs are still stable levels, but the indicators are considered unsuitable for individual investment with venture capital. So move on to the the net part is system risk beta coefficient. The task so beta of the stocks market the equality weight portfolio according to the textbook. Beta is used to determine the systematic risk of the securities by measuring sensitivity of security to the market change. It is clear that except for market index risk is always equal to 1 and the VNM index risk is less than 1. All other securities are recorded as a value greater than market value. Besides, all stock has a positive beta, which means they will continue to grow the market. As mentioned above, VCB, PNG, SPJ are stock with beta above 1. So the stock price is expected to fluctuate more than market. Regarding VCB in particular, the reasons for the high beta value of banking security is that this industry accounts for a high proportion of market capitalization with a bank capitalization of a lot compared to the VCB. Yes, and in addition, according to the VIX stock, VCB and VNM are considered to be the two securities that have a big influence in Vietnam index. Therefore, VCB beta is recorded as 1.09 and VNM also has a higher beta of 0.7. That will affect portfolio risk the most. On the other hand, VNG records a high beta figure of 1 in the figures. Besides, HBG other beta index that are not inferior to the rest stock with 1.28 similar. The selected portfolio has a beta value of 1.16 would be quite high. So the next part, I would like to invite G to present.
Thank you for introducing me. I'm G, and I'll cover the last part of our group presentations, which is question 5, optimal weights. So in this part, we'll identify the weight of each stock in our portfolio, which results in the portfolio's minimum variance. And so as you can see, the two tables show the change in investing proportions among those selected stock, PNG, VNM, VCB, HBG, and SSI. And the optimal portfolios is built with a lower standard deviations and variance in comparison with the equal ones in order to minimize the risk received for the investors. And our team first calculated its stock monthly rate of return and determined the portfolio monthly rate of return, standard deviations, and variance afterwards. So by using the Excel solver, we set the Sharpe as objective and then reduce the portfolio standard deviations by changing the weight values and combining them with some constraints. And also the total weight of the portfolio was then subjected to 1 and no value was negative. So finally we received the results solved as shown in the second table. And looking closely to the second table, we can see that the equal portfolio and the optimal portfolio are drastically different. The VNM, Vinamilk stock, and VCB Becoming stock together account for nearly 80% of the portfolio sum. So investors should take these stocks into account if they want a more stable and safer portfolio. Given that the standard deviations of these two stocks range from 7.02% to 8.88%. And to lower the risk, the remainders, HBG, PNG, and SSI, they are reduced accordingly. So because compared to the VN index, the data of standard deviations are roughly double, which is 6.6% compared to 12.01 and 14.89%. So it is the end of our group presentations, and here's our references. Okay, thank you for your attention.